Hello, my name is David Thompson from the Fraser Valley in British Columbia. You might say I am an expert in anti-aging. That is a lay expert. Just through the years, many decades of having an interest in this area and applying it to my life. I'm 66 years old and about 9 months into my 66th year chronologically, but biologically I am a good number of decades younger, possibly between 20 and 30 years younger biologically. I still do heavy weightlifting. I do high-speed dashes uphill. That is a 35-minute dash up a very steep hill. I do it, that's a 35-second dash, and I do that 5 times with a 3-minute walk in between, 3 times a week. And the other 3 days I do weightlifting. And so I want to share with you today something that I came across and have been using for the last year and 8 months. I want to share with you my experience with this amazing anti-aging sleep machine, known as the Earth Pulse Sleep on Command, and the science behind it. For those that do not understand what PEMF devices are, let me explain that. And also another thing, what earthing or grounding is. First, I will explain what earthing and grounding is so that you will understand what I am about to share with you about this device and how powerful it is. Earthing, you will find all kinds of information on earthing on the internet, including there's been some very good double-blind placebo trials done on the benefits of earthing. So there's very solid science behind it. Basically, they have discovered that there's a particular electronic polarity, and I'm not going to go into all the details of all of this, electronic charge in the earth. It also carries a frequency that averages around 9.6 hertz. Now this is according to Dr. Robert O. Becker, who's known as the father of electromedicine. He did a test where he put 2 20-foot poles 20 feet into the ground and about 20 feet apart and measured the activity that was coming out of the earth, the electrical activity, and he found that it was around 9.6 hertz. And of course, there's a lot to explain how all of this happens. There's about 1,000 lightning strikes around every minute. This is part of what causes this charge. That's too much to go into. I just want to briefly explain that, for example, when people walk on the ground, direct contact with the ground, like walking with your bare feet on the grass and so on, there's very powerful benefits to the body. In particular, to what happens to the blood. The blood goes into a far higher quality because it has a far greater zeta charge. Now what is that? A zeta charge is something that causes, because of the charge coming from the earth, for all the blood cells, instead of clumping together, to spread apart evenly so that toxins can get out of the blood and so on far more easily. When you are exposed to frequencies that are too high, such as from the cell phone, from your computer and radio and all of these high frequency waves, that has a damaging effect on the body overall, on the cells and on the blood, causing it to clump more and so on. And so your blood is in a poor quality state. This results in the tendency towards a lot more destructive pathways in the body that can cause disease. Of course, they now know that when you eat protein after the meal, particularly as you get older, there is destructive pathways that form because of the inflammation that happens in the blood. And this inflammation is now known to cause virtually to be the initiator of virtually all diseases. It's something like almost 99%. I forget exactly, but it's very close to 100%. So when you have the practice of earthing, touching, having contact with the earth, there's powerful benefits. In particular, if you are grounded when you go to sleep, or in contact with the earth when you go to sleep. You can have a conductive cloth, which you can buy at different earthing or grounding sites, and have an alligator clip to it, and have a wire that just goes into the ground wire. Well, that wire goes into the telephone pole, into a rod in the pole that goes directly into the earth. And so when you sleep on that, your body is in a better state for healing and so on while you're sleeping, and for better sleep. And when they've done double-blind placebo trials, they've found significant benefits. You can look at many videos. I'll have some on my website, Unearthy and so on, by various medical doctors and so on, discussing these benefits. But you will find that what they found was that the stress hormone cortisol goes way down while you're asleep if you are grounded. The other thing that goes way down is your insulin levels, so that you are having a far healthier state in your insulin levels, especially for people that have a problem with their insulin in relation to diabetes and so on. This is very significant. The result is that you sleep a lot better when you are grounded. Now, what I'm going to be sharing with you is something that goes beyond earthing, and that is PEMF devices. In particular, the Earth Pulse, because it stands out from all the other devices I have observed, with some exceptional features that they just simply do not have. Now, PEMF stands for Pulsed Electromagnetic Field, and it all started back when the astronauts were going into space, and they found they needed those magnetic pulses from the Earth, those electrical charges from the Earth, to be in an improved condition. And so the Russians and NASA was doing tests, and many others, and of course this goes back, magnetism goes way back to the Egyptian Empire. They were using it because of the healing property in magnets way back then. So there's a lot of science behind it. And what I will be sharing with you, there will be links under the video and in the website, if you happen to go to the website, that will take you to very good research sources validating all of these things scientifically. And what I'm sharing with you here is about a particular device called the Earth Pulse Sleep on Command. It was designed by two medical doctors. I mentioned Dr. Robert O. Becker, the father of electromedicine. He was the inventor, and so was Dr. William Paluk, one of the ones that put all the different inputs into this device for the different varied frequencies. And they based it all on the testing that was done by NASA and by various other sources in Europe and in Russia. Extensive testing because of the power of this particular field of science on human health and the abilities to do far more. And I'm going to be sharing with you my own experiences with this device. First of all, I want to tell you that I bought this in November. I received this on November the 14th of 2014. So that's about a year and 8 months from today when I'm sharing this with you. The thing that I really noticed when I bought the device was immediately how powerfully it affected my ability to go into deep sleep. This device is designed to be put under the pillow or under your mattress while you're sleeping and to pull you into deep sleep. And I'm going to show you this device at this point so that you have an understanding of what it looks like and basically what it is and so on. And so I have it running right now underneath me, giving those precious, powerful waves off that are so beneficial to one's health. Now, first of all, I'm going to just show you the panel itself here, and you can see it there, and this is the other part coming out from it, which is a heavy metal piece that is radiating these waves at very powerful gauge, up to 600 gauge, I believe. as a square wave, which is the only wave that is extremely effective and beneficial to one's health. And I just want to show you, now that I'm showing you this, it has all kinds of different programs in it that do different things, and I'm not going to go into that. But I want to show you just show you what's happening here. I can feel it vibrating right now. Okay. Now you're going to see what's happening there. Now I have it a bit loose here. I should screw it tight. But anyhow, it doesn't matter. It doesn't lie that way when you're having it flat. But you can see what's going on here. You can see the frequencies that are going off in that thing. Okay, so that's basically what the earth pulse is, and I'm just going to put it back down here now. The programs that were put in that were designed by Dr. William Pollack, a medical doctor who is a certified family physician in Canada and in the United States, and also is an assistant professor at the School of Medicine at Johns Hopkins University. I don't know if he still is. He probably is. I have no idea. But anyhow, what I found was that I had a lot of dreams. When I put this into the mode that draws you, it entrains your brain to go into a deeper and deeper sleep. The one I have is the one that costs around $700. It has all the programs in it. The other one that just has the most powerful frequency in it, without those programs, is I think around $400 some odd dollars. It might be $499. I've forgotten exactly. I believe it's $499. But for me, my experience was being drawn into very deep sleep and incredibly a lot of dreams. It seemed like, man, I would dream a whole bunch of dreams, different, lots of short episodes of dreams, many of them seeming very real. And that still is the case, of course, after all this time. Now, the other thing that really stands out that I have experienced with the Earth Pulse, I do workouts, heavy lifting, weightlifting, and so on 3 times a week. And I'm exceptional in the stomach area at my age of 60, almost 67 years old. I'm really powerful. I've always been very powerful in my stomach area. So I put the metal plate right to the bottom, and I've been able to do 40 reps and not more. But guess what happened when I got the Earth Pulse? The first, I went there about 1 day after I used it, and it went up from 40 to 42 reps. Well, that's not much. But then 2 days later, it went up to 46 reps, okay? And then the next time I went, another 2 days later, it went up to 54 reps. And then the next time I went, probably Monday again next week or whatever it was at 60 reps I was doing with my stomach. Now, what's amazing about this is I've never been able to come even close. The most I could ever get was 40, and here I was doing 60. And once I did 60, it leveled off, and it stayed like that for a long time. And it still would be around there, except that now I decided there was an extra 10 pounds you could put on it, so now I'm not doing 60 reps, but I'm doing the equivalent of 60 reps with that extra weight. It's around 40 reps now. It's 40 or above. Sometimes I get a bit more than 40 reps. And I also noticed significant benefits with dumbbells and so on. They went up by about 1 rep, 1.5 reps, sometimes 2 reps more. So there's significant benefits that way. But the other thing that's very powerful is your capacity to breathe, to hold your breath for a long time. In fact, they have a rebate program where if you record the increase in ability of yourself to hold your breath, because this is very significant with this device, this ability. Now, I didn't bother to do that, which is kind of foolish. I just didn't want to go to the trouble of doing that to get a rebate because I was so busy. But I really noticed this, that when I drink water in the morning for 32 ounces in one gulp, that it was way easier to do that. I wasn't huffing after. I also noticed when I sing songs, because I love to sing in a group of, in a church, and where we sing, we can really sing. So I just found that I could have a high note and be releasing that note for a way longer period of time. I also noticed the effect also when I do my high-speed runs, that it wasn't as highly stressed as it was before when I'm at the end and I'm really huffing doing this high-speed run. Now, these benefits happen because when those waves are being emitted, this earth pulse is like grounding, or what's known as earthing on steroids. When those waves are being emitted, there's powerful effects. And I want to share with you some of the research on the effects first. For example, NASA did an experiment or a test with these waves. In 2003, it was known as Goodwin. And what they found was that 10 hertz, which you can set, of course, the earth pulse at. The earth pulse has frequencies that go from, basically 0 right up to 15 hertz. Anything that goes beyond 15 hertz has damage. Certain amounts of damage start to happen to your body, and I'm not going to go into all the, you can look up all the research on the effects of frequencies that go beyond 15 hertz. Your stress hormones go up and so on, and other things when you go beyond that. Now 15 hertz makes you very alert. So if you were sleepy at your computer and you put the earth pulse on at 15 hertz, you would find yourself becoming a lot more alert. In fact, the earth pulse, when you set it at the special sleep mode, it entrains your brain by first starting off at 15 hertz and then drawing you gradually into the lower and lower level of hertz till it gets to the 10 or 9.6 hertz. And NASA found that the 10 hertz had powerful anti-aging effects that were 4 times greater than the other frequencies. And so that's something that's very amazing to see, is the benefits of this 10 hertz. They found that when people were, I don't know who exactly the details of the experiments, but they found that 10 hertz was a golden bell. And when you were exposed to it for 10 hours a day, over a 21-day period, it turned off 175 maturation genes. Those are genes that cause you to become older. And it turned on 150 genes that are youth genes, that make you go into a younger state, that make the cells go into a younger state. The other thing the earth pulse does, the real root of what causes all of the benefits, has to do with how it affects, in particular, the mitochondria in our cells. Now, for those that don't know what the mitochondria is, the mitochondria are little cylinders in the cells that create energy for the cells and, of course, therefore, for your whole body. The mitochondria, if your cells are healthy, there's between about 70 and 1,000 of them in the cells. And the mitochondria, when the earth pulse is running, the waves go through your body and it's like a mechanic going to every single cell and cleaning a car engine, and also giving that engine a tune-up. That's what happens to the mitochondria, basically, when they are exposed to the 10 hertz square wave frequency that NASA tested, as well as, of course, as I mentioned, the powerful effects of anti-aging effects to your overall health, which causes, over time, of course, a significant biological age reversal criteria. This benefit it results in the mitochondria having way more energy. So what this means is that when you have more energy, your body takes the extra energy and uses it to repair your body, especially when you sleep. And so your body is able to repair at a far greater level, and therefore prevent disease as you tend to get older. And also, I'm sure, stop many possible diseases and reverse your biological age reversal criteria over time. The Earth Pulse, there are some other things I wanted to share that are just on the tip of my mind. Here's something that's very important I wanted to share with you in relation to disease about the Earth Pulse. There has been recently a very powerful discovery on the root cause of cancer. And you can go to Dr. Mercola's website, which is mercola.com, which is the best anti-aging website I've ever come across, because he has all kinds of videos and interviews with doctors, and his newsletters are incredibly powerful and way better than the ones that I've paid money for from other organizations. In fact, the subject headings every day I get in his newsletters are so good that I can't resist to read them. I found his website is exceptional. And on there I found this recent interview with an expert on cancer and all of that, and their discovery and the scientific, he's written a book, I don't remember the name of it now. I do have a site at helpsheal.com that would have links to the name of that book and so on. That's helpsheal.com, because I do have stuff on the Earth Pulse there in an article. But what they found was that the cause of cancer is the degradation and destruction of the mitochondria in our cells. And they found the major cause of this is the consumption of sugar. Now, the sugar molecules in our cells, they don't burn clean. They give off, as it were, a billowing amount of smoke, which causes damage to the mitochondria. Now, the other thing that would damage the mitochondria significantly would be high-frequency wireless waves that we are exposed to all the time. So is there any wonder that the cancer rate is so high when 100 years ago only 1 or 2 people out of 100 were getting it, and now it's about 1 in 2, according to some sources? The root cause of this is also the toxins we are exposed to, of course. But the major one is we consume way more sugar. They misguide the information and so much of the ingredients, and you think you're not getting sugar when you actually are, and so on. And so all of these things are for greed because people want to sell more products, and they're not considering people's health. So the mitochondria, when it's damaged, sends out a distress signal to the nucleus of the cell. And when they do, the nucleus of the cell in turn starts sending out distress signals to other parts of the cell to produce energy that were not designed to produce energy. The result of all of these distress signals going off in the cell is what causes genetic damage in the cell and causes the cell to become cancerous. This is the root cause that they have discovered, and this has been clearly shown by the experiments on animals and so on that they've done. They clearly verify that the root cause is not the nucleus of the cell, it is the mitochondria in the cell that become damaged. So when you have something like the Earth Pulse with this particular frequency, you are getting something that is so effective against all disease conditions, and in particular at protecting you against getting cancer. Now, that doesn't mean you just go ahead and eat a bunch of sugar. What they found is one of the most powerful diets against all disease conditions, and in particular against cancer, is the ketogenic diet that is used for those that have epilepsy and so on. That diet is extremely effective against cancer. I saw a documentary on the 700 Club on this, where people were given up by their medical doctor because the cancer had metastasized, and they went on this diet and they got rid of their cancer. Because what happens on a ketogenic diet where you're taking 70% healthy oils, such as salmon oil, such as avocado and olive oil and so on, and you're taking vegetables and you're taking no sugar, The cells no longer burn sugar, they burn ketones. And ketones burn very clean. So you'll feel way healthier, you'll have way more energy if you put that program together with the Earth Pulse. Oh, there's the odd people that complain and say, oh, I couldn't sleep well with the Earth Pulse. Let me tell you, I've had times when I couldn't sleep well with the Earth Pulse too. But the reason was because I overlooked something. I did something, I took something just before I went to bed or whatever, or ate something wrong during the day, or whatever it was, and so I found I couldn't sleep, even though the Earth Pulse was working. But I still did go to sleep. It took longer to get to sleep because my body was so active. But when I did go to sleep, I fell into a deep, deep sleep with dreams. And I find this is particularly true when you set it to the mode that draws you into sleep. If you just set it to the manual on 10 hertz, you'll still fall into a deep sleep. But I find, at least my experience seems to be, that I don't get as many dreams. I still get dreams that are very vivid, but not, they seem to be longer and not a bunch of short episodes. At least that's my experience. But I can tell you, the other thing with the Earth Pulse is, if you buy it, don't set the frequency at 100%. Your body can't take that right away. When I first got the Earth Pulse, even when I'm near it now, if I get near it, I can feel the vibrations going through my body sometimes. Well, your body can't just take that kind of intensity. It's not used to that. You've got to gradually build up. So when you buy the Earth Pulse, keep that in mind. Now, here's another thing I want to tell you about the Earth Pulse. There was a time when they offer a 90-day rebate if this Earth Pulse device doesn't give you powerful benefits that you experience on your health. You can go right to the links on my site and you can see the guarantee that they give you. It's a really good one. Now, at first, the problem was they were wondering why they were getting a 14% return rate. The reason turned out to be because the Earth Pulse was regenerating the cells in the thyroid gland. So people that were taking thyroid medicine didn't need their medicine because the thyroid was becoming healthy and well. But because they were still taking their thyroid medicine, they couldn't sleep. And that was why they were returning it. So what's the answer? Huh. The answer is they discovered, you go to your medical doctor and you find he'll discover you don't need to take it anymore, or you take far less, then you're going to sleep well. And so now what is their return rate? About 3%. So this is a powerful device, and I'll tell you, there are so many PEMF devices out in the market, but the problem with all of them is most of them are exceptionally expensive. They're big. They're not compact like this. You can take this anywhere. It's got a nice little suitcase that goes with it. Very small, compact little case. It's small, it's compact, and it's designed to use while you're sleeping and to pull you into deep sleep. And I don't find that is the case. With all the ones I've seen, many of them are $10,000 or more, many in the thousands. They're very expensive. And you put something around here or something around there, and you only use it for a short period of time or a long period of time. And many of them, most of them, have very high frequencies that do damage to other parts of your body because they're in those high frequency ranges. Though there may be benefits to some particular part of your body, when it's focused upon it, it's ignoring the side effects of having frequencies that are higher than 15 hertz. So the Earth Pulse has very powerful benefits to your health and the ability of you to be able to sleep far better. But like I say, don't go ahead and live an unhealthy lifestyle and do silly things and then complain that the Earth Pulse doesn't work. It does work, and you will notice if you set it at the right frequency and not too high, so that your body can't take it. You've got to gradually find out what your body can take. I can do it up to 90% at 10 hertz. Now I find it very comfortable at 80% too, but I find I will sleep even deeper at 90, but I still don't want to try it at 100% because it will be probably too intense and then it will do the opposite, so I can't sleep. So keep that in mind. Now, the other thing I want to share with you about the earth pulse is its powerful effect, of course, to protect you from electromagnetic pulse waves that are high frequency from all the environment that you're in. With wireless phones and all of this, it causes the blood to be in a poor quality state and therefore far greater potential for disease and other things to happen. The athletic benefits have been well documented with the earth pulse. It's almost equivalent to taking steroids, except this is something that's totally legal. Of course, I'm not saying it's totally equivalent to steroids, but it has benefits that are far greater than steroids because the benefits are good for your health without bad side effects. Rather, there's positive, very positive health benefits. That's all you're getting when you use a device like this. It's going to save you a tremendous amount of money on supplements, because why take CQ10 if this is doing the same thing, or other supplements that are designed to improve the mitochondria? Yes, the heart needs CQ10, and maybe it's still good to take it, but I'm sure you would find with the earth pulse that you wouldn't need to, and you can save yourself a lot of money with supplements that are in particularly designed for your overall health, cellular health. Now, the other thing that they found with the earth pulse was the tremendous benefits that people were getting in other areas, and I just want to mention one right now that comes to my mind, and that's with my mother. She's 92 years old. Now, she's been on all kinds of medications for blood pressure and for her heart and all of that. I've got her off, almost off all of them, except for one. But one of the medications she was taking was to stop the swelling, the collection of fluid in her feet, which was very noticeable. But the earth pulse is very effective at getting rid of that. So I put her off that drug, and now, because she has the earth pulse, and she has, because she's older, it's under her mattress only at 70% and at a distance. So she's getting a very small impact from it because she has a pacer, and it wouldn't be right to have it, you know, at anything more intense, and it has to be far away, and that way it's safe and not affecting the pacer. But here's the thing. She doesn't have any fluid in her feet at all now. Her feet don't, and they haven't swollen for a long time. Ever since she's had the earth pulse for the last year and 5 months approximately, she has not had any swelling in her feet. She doesn't take the drug because there's multifaceted benefits with this device in that regards. And of course, I've mentioned that athletes, you know, they're getting what they found in their experience, and you'll see this at the site, is they've been seeing strength go up by 20%, endurance up by 40% within a couple of weeks. 10% strength, 20% stamina, that's what it shows here, okay? Able to hold a breath for 5 to 10% longer after the first night, and then it goes up from there, even higher by a significant amount. I think it's more than double. And so there's all of these benefits, and there's significant decrease in pain. If you have pain, your circulation is improved, greater energy, heals all types of injuries more effectively and rapidly. And more effectively and rapidly repairs joint damage and bones with causes the bones to enter into greater density, increases the flexibility and range of motion, effectively detoxifies the body with the right products. The reason you need products is because all it can do is take the poisons out of the cell, but once they're out of the cell, it can't get them out of the body. So you need to take a product that will get the poisons out of your body. I take apple pectin capsules because they're a very effective product against metal poisoning and all of those kind of things. I mentioned fluid retention. It reduces inflammation. It's powerful against depression and significantly reduces trembling and Parkinson's, and is shown, of course, to be effective against many disease conditions. And here's another thing they found that's very significant, and that is what it does to plants. Now, you will find in the links that I will send you to that there will be the research there on what it has done when they have used it on plants. For example, mung beans. Now, with mung beans, I believe it went up around, they became they were doubled in their size. The mung beans doubled in weight. And their taste was improved significantly. The same was the case with alfalfa sprouts. They increased by 42% with significant improvement in taste using the Earth Pulse device waves, having them exposed to it. So this, I think, is a powerful thing that should be used in that field, you know, for producing really good produce for consumption. So you can see that I really like this device. I've been using it now for quite some time, and I wouldn't want to be without it because of the tremendous benefits I experience from it. And I'm hoping that you will recognize how this can really change your life. It can make the difference in a far higher quality of physical well-being and mental well-being for your loved ones that are older, and also for your future. Your capabilities and so on will increase. So thank you for listening to this video on the Earth.